powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane!
Hi everyone, welcome to another It's a Dave thing. We're here at the Bridgewater Library. I'm here with Joel from Crew. How you doing, Joel?
I'm all right. It's getting flashback city here in the library. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. We're going to discuss back when we were kids. A very interesting topic after we're doing the nostalgia one last week.
That's right. We are living in the past, but it's a good thing because it's good to reflect and embrace those memories. But the library, wow. How often do you come to the library?
Not as much as I would like to, but every probably month at least.
Yeah, nice. That's good. Back when we were at school, we had to go to the library a fair bit, hey?
Yeah, it was every week, and had to pick out at least a couple of books to read, and then we'd go back to the classroom and they'd make us read other books in the classroom.
Reading. But it's a very, very important thing.
Yeah, and good old school, you know.
Yeah.
We went to school probably in the same decade.
We
the
are
1990s.
pretty similar in ages. Yep, I'm an 83 child, 1983.
And I'm 1984, so
Oh,
pretty
mate,
close.
we are pretty much there. We would have gone through lots of similar school settings. Where did you go to school?
I went to Bowen Road, Lindisfarne Primary, and was Clarendale Primary as well.
Yeah, right. A bit of a mix. Nice. I went to Dodgers Ferry Primary School through the kindergarten to grade 6. And that was a hall when it first started. Now it's quite a large, big school. So we got to have the real small setup at the beginning, and then eventually the classrooms were built. And then I moved on to Sorrel High School, and then I went to Elizabeth College. Yeah, there you go.
I went to, let's see, what high school did I go? I went to Rugby High School, it's now Bayview High School.
Oh, yeah, Bayview. Yeah,
Well, secondary college, whatever they call it now. I went to Gilston Bay High School, which is now North Lindisfarne Primary School.
Yeah, that's right. They had the change.
And I did some distance ed after that. So, yeah, I did some pretty good schooling sometimes.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, my last year of college, I did sort of distant ed, and it was flexible learning, and that worked pretty well. But wow, why don't we just focus on the golden era? When was that? Was that through more primary school for you than high school, do you reckon?
Yeah, it was primary school. I used to have a lot of fun in primary school. Yeah. Playing Foursquare and all that at the recess and stuff like that.
100%. Many battles were, won and lost, and questionable line markings. What do you say? Lino. Yeah, good times, hey?
A lot of fighting during the game of Foursquare, and some kids end up throwing the ball at each other.
Oh, yeah.
That was just random.
Yeah, well, that's it. Fire out. What about marbles? Do you play a bit of marbles?
Yeah, I played marbles a lot. I played it with my friends B and his brother Ty, I think.
Nice.
And then we had this guy Adam, and he was a bit mouthy, and he was being a bit of a not so good person.
Oh, nice.
And B's brother ended up throwing the big Tom bowler at him.
No way, really.
And that's when they decided that at Bowen Road Primary School there would be no more marbles ever.
This is what I'm talking about. The rules, like marbles has been around, for a long time, but definitely in a school setting. But yeah, these Tom bowlers, they were heavy, especially like the steel ones. And in a moment of rage, which I highly recommend to any kids listening right now, because 90s is right back in. I don't know if you know, man. Like yo-yos were in at school, and it's all coming back in full swing.
Good old Tarzos as well.
Tarzos, yeah. But it's kind of the same as what the kids are doing with Pokemon, but the idea of having marbles as like a potential weapon at school, nowadays I think they know. They're like, nah, not happening. Back then, you're right, you had to go through the motions of everyone's happy, the teacher's on duty, they're even, they're refereeing to make sure that everything's kosher, but the next minute someone gets a marble to their head, man, instant ban.
And in fairness to Adam, he really did deserve it. So, Adam, if you ever listen to this, you did deserve to get that marble thrown at you.
Hey, we don't want to advocate violence, but, that's sometimes these things happen.
It was very bad that he's got the marble thrown at you, but you kind of had it coming.
Oh, well, Adam, I hope, things have changed for you,
yeah,
man.
Hopefully so, yeah.
Nice.
And then cool. We had kids playing Power Rangers when it first came out. And
Go Power Rangers. Yep.
That was a great part of the decade. You know, seeing kids going from playing sports to doing Power Rangers and getting in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. Stunts, play fighting that turned into real fighting. Everyone wanted to be, you know, whoever, Green Ranger, Red Ranger, whatever. Yeah.
So which Ranger would you have been?
Look, I like the Green Ranger. I didn't mind it. I think I was right into like Monkey Magic because
I remember that.
I didn't really have too much. I didn't really have that many channels. I don't think I could get the reception for I could only get like maybe 3 channels. I don't know. There were only a few back then. But yeah, you know, Monkey Magic, I'd be there. And yeah, pretending I was on a cloud. If you haven't seen Monkey Magic, I highly recommend it. It's a pretty crazy.
I remember watching
Japanese
that on the ABC, and
Yep.
they actually were rebooting or have rebooted it or something like that. And
They did. I did watch that, and it was like, what? This is nothing like the original, but that often happens. But yeah, no, look, lots of games. Foursquare, definitely. Jeez, I don't know. Just school was just one big adventure place, mostly, particularly when the school bell went. What about canteen? Did you get up to, like, you know, into a good place with the canteen where you
I
getting
was
some
always
meals?
there, and my mum actually volunteered in the canteen
Oh,
sometime.
nice.
And at Bowen Road, they let the canteen people take home some of the hot food that was left over from there. So mum would have pizza slices and stuff like that.
You are joking. What? That sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I've tried the pizza slices these days, but not as good as they were back then.
Nah.
But it was just good to have those and, you know, meat pies and
Yep.
chicken burgers and
Look,
popcorn.
I'm not going to lie, and if you're listening to me and you used to go to school with me, you would know that I was an ultimate canteen, what they call scab. I'd be there. I literally would be like, hey, man, you got 5 cents? I got 5 cents. I need to get a caramel slice. Please help me. And then, then I was like, you need a website? Like, because the 90s, you know, it was just coming in. It's like, I can make you a website. $5. And then I'll be straight to the canteen, wheeling and dealing. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm sorry to everyone that's given me 10 cents, 5 cents over those years. But respect to you all, because canteen food was good back then.
It was,
and,
yeah.
And
it
I was
cheap.
talking to my kids this morning, dropping them off to school, going through the drive-through to get them hot chocolates. 2 hot chocolates, $10. Now, in retrospect to where the world's at and inflation, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's just what's up, I suppose. It costs a lot of money, but it was just so funny telling them, back in my day, if I had $10 to go to the canteen, I could get 20 ice creams that were 50 cents each, and you'd just be like an ice cream lord, you know? You'd be there, like, everyone ice creams, you know, the Milky Bar, you know, the Milky Bar kids, like, Milky Bar's on me. That's how I would have been. But I was lucky enough to take $2. You know?
Isn't it funny that we've gone from being cheerful young people to crotchety old people just by saying, back in my day?
This was the fear. As a kid, actually, funny ice cream story is that I knew a guy that he got a Billabong and they were doing a competition. You remember they used to have the competitions on the ice cream sticks?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So you could win a free ice cream, but you could also, it's kind of like the Monopoly thing that I have at McDonald's, you know, collect all the things, put them together, and if you get them, you know, get a prize. Mind you, the Monopoly thing, there's a whole Netflix thing on it. It's fully rigged. But anyway, that's a different story. The speaking of getting rigged, is that this guy I went to school with, he like cut out, it's inside of the actual wrapper, and it was for like a Commodore 64, and it was like the ultimate prize, and the dude's like cut out the Commodore 64 one and then like glued it on perfectly to match with 3 of them, because he had to get 3 in a row or something. And yeah, I remember that was probably the first time I'd ever seen anything so corrupt in my life. I was like,
no.
oh my God. I was like, close my eyes. I was like, man, what if he wins? Yeah, so
And did he win?
probably not. Can you imagine how many rappers those guys would have gone through going, goddamn, kids trying to rig the system again? Yeah, good memories.
Surprising though, documentary on that too.
Yeah, well, that's right. One in the making. Yeah.
Then we
nice.
go to lunch and you have to eat your lunch by a certain time, and then the bell goes.
Why does the bell go faster at lunchtime than it does when you're in class? What's up with that, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then at my school we had the clock that was, the siren was actually a music song, so we'd have the same song almost every day, and it's like change the song, please.
Oh, really? Yeah, the music. That's cool. Yeah, I just remember just this ear piercing. Get back. Yes. What about getting to school? Did you get a bus, that kind of thing?
When I was in high school, I got a bus, but in primary school, it was mostly my mum would take us first few years, and then we'd walk to school. How about yourself?
Yeah, I had a mix. My dad had a Harley Davidson, he still does, and that was pretty rad. Rocking up to school, holding for my dear life. With my dad rocking up on the Harley, thinking, I was the business. Getting dropped off initially there, then started riding my bike. But back when I was like in grade 4, it was a bit of a mission, but it was good. Definitely faster than walking. But then, through high school, I'd be catching the bus. And mega mission home. That's another back in my day story where it felt like 15 miles. You know what I mean? I wasn't in my bare feet, or in snow, but it definitely was. It was killer on the hot days. You know, walking. It was massive. All these big dirt hills just to get home. But respect again to my neighbours. I would be knocking on the door, going, "I need a drink of water, maybe some ice cream." Yeah.
Yeah, it would be fun. For me, I would walk very early in the morning, so I'd go there very early and just hang out with some friends, and we'd play some sports or something during the before school and stuff like that. So we'd do that.
Definitely, yeah. My best mate during primary school, his mum worked at the school, and they lived literally next to the school. So that was a great, an amazing. Years of memories being able to kick at his house, and respect to his mum, because I would have been like, I'm hungry. Man, these kids, we just used to eat so much and put up with me. But yeah, we had a great time. Yeah, playing. That was the big art of it all, wasn't it? Back then, you could just spend hours on the trampolines. I'm not saying kids don't do that now, but it was a very offline kind of world. But he had a computer as well, so I'll be like, quick, let's go up and play some King's Quest. And lots of just fun adventures before and after school. So I hear what you're saying there. And playing Alex the Kid and trying to beat the game before the bus would come. Not at my house, I didn't have Alex the Kid, but at a place I used to go to. That was one of my favourite things to do.
We used to always play Lemmings in grade 6
like
at
that's it.
Glenville Primary. We'd do that, and the girls would do whatever they did on the computer. I think they played a game or something, but they'd always get annoyed because the boys would always hijack the computers and play Lemmings every morning.
Really? Look, what else are you going to do? Play Lemmings or play Doom?
Well, we didn't have really the internet back then either, so I don't think in high school we had much of the internet either. It was still very, very new here in Australia at the time, so
definitely through those late 90s.
Mainstream.
Yeah, definitely through those late 90s. The surfing the web. Man, the memories. Good stuff. So do you have a funny story there, Dave, from school?
In PE, we were playing softball, and the teacher told me that it was a softball, as they'd say. So we had a girl there, and she decided to throw the ball, hit me right in the groin, and it hurt really bad.
Ouch.
And she started to burst out laughing, and then I just turned to the teacher and said, I thought you said this was soft.
Oh, no.
And she goes, that's not how it means. That's not what it means. It's the sport's called softball.
Yeah.
So, well, it feels pretty hard to me.
I reckon. Softball, they had T-ball, and
it really hurt. And I was just like, is this paint ever going to end?
Oh, my God.
And this girl's just laughing and carrying on. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm here in pain, and you're just standing there laughing and just giggling. And
wow.
That's
really?
mean.
Oh, I know. Look, I'd probably have something a bit similar. I'd say funny, maybe not so much at the time or really the act of it, but retrospectively for, 90s pranks, had it coming. A big thing back then was sports pants where you had the buttons down the side and you could just rip them off.
I remember them.
Remember them?
Yeah.
Bad idea. I thought I was, again, the business. Be like, yeah, what's up, guys? I got my Adidas pants. But, of course, what happened? Some dude came and rocked them off. And I was like, yeah. We didn't fully rock them off, but I managed to hold on to them for dear life. But, yeah, that was the last time I wore those pants. Yeah.
I remember having the parachute pants, and they'd rip every time you'd bend over. It's like, oh no.
The rip parachute. Oh, mate, yeah, I do know that. And definitely the memories of having those synthetic kind of pants and then always getting holes in your trousers or something.
Oh yeah, I do that when I was playing sports and
Grass
stuff.
stains or whatever, yeah.
And Mum would be like, oh no, not another hole in the pants.
I know. Yeah, it was come back full circle now. I got kids. But that happens.
So how about going to the library, since we're in a library and we're listening to some kids
are.
playing and some doors slamming? So what would be your favourite book that you would have checked out at the library?
Grug represent. Definitely
Grug.
Grug was, absolute gangster. I loved him. He was getting around, just doing his adventures, finding himself in trouble. And then, I related with Grug, definitely. And yeah, I think really there was that. Paul Jennings as an author was it's great to sort of read these real funny stories. Morris Gleitzman or whatever his name is, that was a really good one there. And Roald Dahl as well. I just love funny books, or I loved the overly sized books that you could almost hide in. So I could just pretend I was reading. We really probably had a Mad magazine or something in there. I don't know. Yeah, look, it was good. I wasn't a diehard reader, but anything that had a bit of humor and fun, yeah. What about yourself?
For me, it would have been the Footy Kids books. They were a series of AFL books for kids. And
nice.
They were from the 1980s at the time, and what they did was they had a bit of a funny story in them as well, and then they had the club song of the team. Also, Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Gotta love Goosebumps. Good story there.
Then when they came out on TV as episodes, it was fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was always them, and in the classroom, they'd make us read a story, and they always had all the Babysitters Club books there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'd read those, trying to figure out what am I going to do. I'm trying to get through this book, and we've got reading time. Like,
Yeah, that's it. There were some books that we had to read that I guess were just like, this is boring. But, that's some things you got to do, I guess.
yeah, when you had to do book reports, you had to read this book, and I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
how am I going to do this book report? I've got to read this whole book, and I'm like,
Yeah, I know.
it's so thick.
Yeah. And now kids can just jump on the internet and download book report summaries.
Yeah, it's funny. I just heard that there was some kids in the US that got done for buying their term papers and stuff like that.
No way. Oh, my God.
Where was that when I was in school, man?
Yeah, I know. But, that's a bit scary, though, isn't it, to get through your schooling purely based off just, dodgy action and then get to the end of school and say, wow, he's really smart. Minute.
I did have one time when they told me they had to do a project on the Tasman Bridge again in high school.
Yeah.
And I told them, I already did this in primary school. It's a waste of time for me to do it because I just had to hand in my old project.
Yeah.
And so I pleaded with the teacher, and he said, you've still got to do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just decided to watch the documentary, and then, as I said, handed in the same project I did in primary school and got the same good grade for it.
Oh, nice.
Because Dad got all these articles and stuff in America because
nice.
he had friends in the library there.
Connections.
So I had all this cool stuff for my project and managed to get it over the line and didn't have to do any schoolwork. Yeah.
If anything that I did enjoy, it was doing projects where I could get creative. And I think that just definitely makes sense, where art as a subject was my favorite thing to do. So if I could get, sort of photocopies or using the printer and print out an image and then put it on a big sort of poster board and, fill it up with like a little bit of text, usually not much. It's just more me doing like graffiti style lettering and, and add cartoons in there, be like, and here's my report.
That would have been good.
Yeah, look, it's, they were fun times.
And how about the good old PE class doing cross countries and stuff like that?
The beep test.
Thankfully, I escaped doing the beep test at my schools, but I heard a whole lot of people have done them. I'm just like, yes, I got out of it.
Yeah, it's traumatic. There are people I still meet out there that I see them crawl into, the fetus position when I mention the dreaded beep test. But there are others that love it. and respected them. Beep test is good, if it's your thing. If it's not, then you dread it through school. Same as cross country, same as a swimming carnival. But you get in there and it's really funny. I did like basketball and a few other sports, and 9 times out of 10, our house or my team would pretty much come last. And I was okay with that because when you'd win, it was like a dream come true.
When I was in school, I was just thinking, how did they manage to get all the top athletes in this one house? Like, we had Tasman, Bowen, and Collins.
Sure.
And Tasman was red, and they always seemed to have all the good athletes. I'm just like, well, how come they got all the good athletes?
You know what? I think this could be rigged. I think you might be onto something. We better get into some schools and do some investigation. See if there's patterns still happening. We'll go revisit Bowen Road.
You'll have to choose this. How about also excursions? Those are something that everyone loved to do.
Well, I know for real. I got lost, and they were waiting for me. And guess what I was doing?
What were you doing?
Playing video games.
Typical.
Yeah, I was in Harris Scarf or Fitzgerald's or whatever it was, and I was like, do, because they'd just let you walk around. Why would you do that? But back then
that's
they
a smart
did.
move. Let's just let the kids walk around unsupervised.
I know, right? And here I am. I'm like, looking at Lego, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's a Mega Drive. And I just like got there and I was glued, and I just lost track of time. I didn't think I even had time. I didn't have a mobile phone. I didn't wear a watch. So yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, who had time for a watch back then?
I know, right? But yeah, that was it. Definitely not the, like it was amazing to be doing that, but I pretty much, near peed my pants when I realized how much trouble I'd be in. Yeah, I mean, that was still kind of high school. It wasn't primary school. But yeah, man, missions, you would all go to the museum and, just sort of different missions around. Sometimes those long bus trips that would just go on and on and on. Really old buses. Yeah, good old memories. What about yourself?
I remember one excursion in high school. We went to the Richmond jail.
Oh, yeah.
And we went through and did all the stuff at Richmond Town. We went to the maze and stuff like that.
Yep.
We went to the Harbour Jail at Richmond, and us boys decided to hide in the cells.
Of course you did. Yeah.
And it was pitch black. And these girls just came walking through, and then we just fling open the door and just scream at them. And they were running out of the place, screaming and howling. After that, they didn't like us at all. But it was so funny at the time.
When in Rome, you got to do it. You just think this is a fantastic idea. Will I get in trouble? Who cares?
Yeah, I think in primary school, there was a time we went to the Marine Study Centre and we got to make these milk carton boats, and we got to have them shoot across the water. And
Yep.
we had the sharks, and then we had to use a straw to blow up the balloon in there to get it across.
Oh, that's a cool one. I remember
that. Was fun with that. So we got to pet the sharks there as well. It was one of my favourite times.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, look, it's great to, I guess, reflect back on those memories, and definitely has some great times. I feel for some of the kids, even like my own, during that like lockdown phase where for a big chunk of school where you couldn't go anywhere. It's really important that you can get out and see some new things.
And have time with your friends and stuff. That would have been something they would have missed, not having their friends around.
Speaking of friends, making friends in school can sometimes be a bit tricky. I mentioned to you before about like what I think really helps is just finding something that you're interested in. And so I guess it still happens now as we're adults. We like to meet other people that kind of have similar passions or interests for conversation, and also to do the things. So for me, video games, that was a big part of my life, and I find other kids that had video game interests and would connect and would be friends from that. What about yourself? Is that sort of how it worked for you?
Yeah, that's how it happened for me as well. I had friends that like sports and some like video games, and we'd play video games at my place because I had a Mega Drive and they didn't. They just had a computer, so everyone would come over to my place and would play the Mega Drive back in the day.
Yeah, nice.
Can't remember what games we would play. I think it was
surely
Bit of
that's some
Sonic here and there.
Streets of Rage, Sonic. You would have probably maybe had the 6-in-1 cartridge.
Yeah,
Who knows? But yeah, that's
NBA
cool.
Jam used to always rock that.
Oh, really? Nice
I
one.
played a whole lot of WWE, or was WWF Raw back then, so that was fun to do.
They were some of the good ones. I was going to say, my understanding of one of your passions and interests is wrestling.
It is, yeah.
So thinking about young David as a kid being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be the Undertaker. Did you ever do wrestling at school?
I tried not to, but I did a couple of times.
I bet you did. In the left corner.
My brother and I would do it at home, and we broke the
yeah.
leg off of Mum's bed once.
You're like, oh, man.
Like-
Pile driver.
We just jump around and we do body slams. and
Nice.
stuff.
Oh, look.
Then we copy-
trampoline, the bed. You know, it's a perfect
We copy
arena.
gladiators sometimes, even though we weren't supposed to. So we just stuff around and we broke the couch. We got broke the legs. Just had these screw-on legs and we just broke them off. And Mum and Dad were just like,
man,
"What the
they
hell
would've-
happened?" Like, nothing at all.
Yeah, that would have been a tricky one then. Oh, mate. Yeah, so wrestling. Did you find any other friends that were into wrestling as well
A
back
couple, yeah.
then? It's a pretty niche kind of thing, I suppose.
At the time, yeah, not many people actually were into wrestling back in the 90s. It was just,
Well, I never
like-
saw it on TV because I didn't have the channels, you know?
yeah, it was like taboo, you know. You like
Yeah.
wrestling, you're a nerd or something.
Ah.
Now it's just like everyone likes wrestling now, and sort of like with real crime too. Everyone likes true crime now, but back when it used to be a taboo topic, it just seems like only a few people liked it, and it was just hard to find them.
Yeah, it's interesting that interesting about pop culture and the way that it's evolved. Speaking about Pokemon, right? I didn't get into Pokemon really, sort of at all. I mean, I enjoy it, and my son going through, he's in grade 6 now. So this last, best part of a decade, Pokemon has been in full force. But in the late 90s, I believe that came through. But thinking about card games, basketball was not card games, but it was basketball cards.
Yeah, I collected those. I had a lot of them.
This was a massive thing, like huge. Like everyone was doing it. We're talking about marbles. Yeah, that was really popular. But around that time, and basketball cards were massive, and I guess football cards and cricket, but definitely basketball and Jordan and NBA. That was the big thing there. But now you've got I guess. All these kinds of different special niche areas of interest in pop culture. And it could be wrestling, it could be Pokemon, it's a whole range of things. But back then, if you were just into like a little bit of the, quote, sort of nerdy kind of things, then you're a nerd. But now it's kind of like, man, there's just so much that people are into. And hopefully, being widely accepted for that, which is really important.
It would have been good. Yeah, back then kids were very cruel with some of your interests and stuff. You didn't fall in line with their popular ones.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. You're either going to be this type of person or this type of person. There was, that's it. It's all like a lot of fun during school, but there's a lot of, I guess, learnings through that. What were some of the main learnings do you think you had from primary school and high school? What do you reckon?
I think it might have been learning history and also learning how to, socialize a little bit and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah. And what about some teachers? You probably had a few good teachers, a few not so good teachers.
Yeah, I had one that I really liked was Mrs. Seeley in grade 4. She actually catered to my creativity and actually gave me enthusiasm into doing small stories and
really
getting
great.
into writing and stuff like that. So she wanted me to keep going my creativity and stuff like that.
Nice. That's so good. Yeah, it's so important to have definitely teachers that have got your back, and a lot of teachers, like, it's their job. It's their job. Some are more than others, but there's always, hopefully, for people going through school, will be at least one that will really have your back and give you motivation and hopefully some inspiration too. And one of them for me was my old art teacher, Mr. Morley. Word up, shout out to Mr. Morley. He was the art teacher and a muso, and just really encouraging guy that really I look back at, and I'm grateful to have that person back then.
It would have
Keep
been
going.
good, yeah.
Yeah,
I've
nice
had
one.
some bad teachers, but
Hey.
I still remember the good teacher though, and try not to let some of the bad teachers spoil my memories of school and my learning.
Hey, what's a funny moment do you remember with someone getting in trouble at school? Actually, I don't know if it's the right thing to say with funny, but you know what I mean? Was there any memories there? Because let's face it, there are a lot of kids that got in trouble, whether it's yourself, whether it's a bigger group or, yeah.
Well, I know that I always got in trouble for swearing, and then the
Yes.
teacher would go, David, stop swearing. And I'm
David.
like, beep, and then
Potty mouth, yeah.
and she goes, I said stop swearing, and then
Yeah,
I'd send on the clock. But it was the quote unquote school bully, Luke. He managed to grab a guy and threw him across the car park.
Oh,
one day.
right. Yeah.
And in his defense, the
Yeah.
guy did deserve it because he was just being obnoxious and that, and he just grabbed him and flogged him. So he got in a lot of trouble for that.
Wow. Yeah. There's some actions there. I remember that. Well, let's put it this way. My memory is not so good when it comes to why all the boys were in trouble or why they're having big, being spoken to in a special boys-only assembly thing. But the principal came out. But our old principal had the biggest whistle in his teeth every time, and he was just getting so angry. And he was like, "You boys better listen to me." And my friend used to do the best impersonation of him. Oh, and it just cracks me up so much to think about it today. So yeah, James, you do the best impersonation.
There was
of Mr. Shin.
one time, well, I won't say band camp because you didn't do
Yeah, that's right.
That's 2000s, don't worry.
Yeah.
We were
More nostalgic. We'll talk about it later.
We were at the football, we were watching the school kids play football, the grade 5s and 6s.
Yep.
And all those boys decided it'll be funny just to line up in a line and sit in front of one in front of the other and stuff.
Yeah.
The teacher didn't seem to find it very funny and said we had to go back into class because we were all watching the football and the girls watching the netball. And
Yeah.
the girls were all really annoyed because we had to go back into class because we were just screwing around.
That's just a typical thing.
Yep, they just did,
Mucking around. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had a bit of fun there.
Yeah.
And I'd end up playing some school footy there towards the end.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, and your football's still a big part of your life, isn't it?
It is, yep.
Yeah, and what do you do with football in the community?
I take photos at the SFL and I do social media as well for them.
Yeah, nice one. Well, that sounds like, a lot of fun, and I'm really happy for you. You've got some amazing shots,
Yep, thank you.
and good future ahead. Cool. Well, there you go. That's a flashback and a half. We like talking about the old days.
How about what did school teach you in the end?
Look, it did teach me about socializing with different people. I would consider myself as someone, look, to be honest, probably someone that was just trying to find mates amongst friends, and I'm very fortunate that I had that. I had a couple of really core mates. We were like, it was kind of like the movie in a way, the nostalgic kind of, boy group there. We played video games, jump on our bikes and go to each other's houses and so forth. And there's some really core memories for me. But for the majority of it, it was just the adventure and just trying to navigate through, particularly when new people would come into a classroom. I'd love to be able to just try and connect and make them feel welcome. And I think that was just something for me as a person I took sort of value in or interest in. Just connecting and at the same breath trying to find, a way to discover identity. And as I mentioned to you before, back in my high school days, when I was presented with 3 options to transform from just a country bumpkin kid wearing parachute pants and playing with marbles to either a goth, a punk, or a skater. And I chose a goth. So there you go.
As you would.
As I did. I thought, you know what? I can't skate, I don't know about having my hair spiky, but I tell you what, paint my nails black and go around with my Cradle of Filth t-shirt on. Sounds like a plan. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it would be fun.
but it was music. I think that was the discovery for me. Music in high school, particularly, and that shaped my identity and still a massive part of who I am and what I do now. And another shout out again to Mr. Morley, my art teacher, who was someone that really encouraged me to pursue music further. So yeah, it was just this gradual journey of, it sounds very cliche, but self-discovery and making friends and learning lessons is what we do. And as kids, we do silly things as well. But yeah, as a parent, it comes in full circle. So yeah.
It does, yeah. And I remember learning about tolerance as well, because we had a whole bunch of kids that were from different backgrounds and ethnicities, so we learned all about that as well going forward, and just learning that they were just kids like us, everyone was the same, and we'd just play around, they'd play some soccer and we'd play that, and play some video games with some of the kids from Thailand and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice. And that's a testament to your heart, David. Yep. Yeah, well done.
And how about some fun memories?
Look, I just keep talking about it. Just video games. Just the weekend. If anything, getting to the weekend on Friday, and the canteen and having ice creams. That's pretty much the basis of my fond memories. And to be honest, just, enjoying it all and then finishing and then kind of going, right, now the new chapter begins. I was really excited to pursue further into the big wide world once high school had finished, and college was great too.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
There was some fun memories for me would have been the same, playing video games, playing sports during the recess and lunch breaks, and just learning more about the world, basically.
Definitely. And using the internet, especially when you had to when you had to go there, and if a project did come up and they'd be like, I'm not going to the library. No disrespect to the library. We're here. They could be listening to us.
Yeah, might be bugged.
They might be bugged. I love the library. But yeah, I'd be there at the local internet cafe or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, so let's look up different types of clouds, and I'm going to copy and paste that, put a little background music, and create a little website, and that's my project done.
I'm actually jealous that the kids of today get to use the internet, because most of their projects are done for them by Googling stuff.
Chat GPT, what the heck? But now they've got these devices. Now they can tell if they've been doing the dodgy.
It's all fun.
Yeah, look, it's a crazy technological world, and if anything, that's one thing that we got to experience. We are the generation that were like guinea pigs in the I guess the digital age. We went from analog to digital. We were the MP3, vets.
And now everyone's got a mobile phone with MP3 player built into their phone, and they're just texting away and going on Instagram and all that stuff, and just messing around in class. Yeah.
One really last important memory for me was installing Quake on all the computers in the computer lab, and then playing the local area network. With pretending we were doing, because the good thing is because we're good at computer stuff, we would do it real quick, and then it'll be done, and then you'd alt tab, and they'd be like, yep, playing the game. And we got in trouble a few times, but I think secretly he knew what we were doing.
Yeah, we got in trouble because we always open up the little chat program that was on the computers.
Yeah, nice.
Instead of doing our computer project, we'd just be chatting away and trying to figure out who we're talking to, because it only had computer number X and all that stuff. So it was fun.
Good memories. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much a wrap, I reckon.
Yeah, that's what we're going to leave it here. Thank you again, Joel, for joining me here on It's a Dave Thing. Here at the Bridgewater Library, we get to enjoy some nostalgia and listen to some kids having some fun. So it's been great going down memory lane again with you.
Yeah, I would highly agree with that, mate. I enjoy these nostalgic chats, and I'm sure there's more to come.
And until then, thank you very much, and we'll be back with another It's a Dave Thing soon.
All right, see you later.